Hello friends, welcome back. So if you all got watch my video last week, I actually rode this bike, the all new 390 Duke. I rode it for about 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes like that, plus minus. And shit, it is so different. I wasn't expecting it to be in such a huge difference. So I want to talk about it today. We're comparing the new 390 Duke versus the old one. So the Gen 3 versus Gen 2, what's the difference? By the way, this is my bike. I'm putting it here just to, you know, compare it lah. Alright, let's start off. Let's start from the top. Okay, so seat height, you can see the V3 is actually a little bit shorter. The V2 is a little bit taller. So this is the first difference that I think people are going to notice, especially when you come from a V2. Second thing is the handlebar. Look at just how much lower this handlebar is. Yes, it may be in an angle, but still it is significantly lower. So basically the riding position is very much different. The seat is lowered by a bit, like I think a few mm, I think maybe one or two, a few cms lah. But the handlebar is like so much lower than the previous gen, and it almost feels like a sports bike, not to like the RC, but like almost like the Kawasaki Ninja 250 or Ninja 400 kind of vibe, I would say. Because when I first hopped on it, I can't really tell until I started riding. Then I'm like, oh no, the handling is like so different, and this is one of the key difference lah. Right, handling. Let's talk about handling. This bike handles like, okay, to me riding position is, I would say, close to supermoto style, but not really supermoto. Because it's obviously not a supermoto, it's a naked bike, right? So it's close. There's some supermoto resemblance, but this one, it still has a little bit of supermoto feel to it, but it's more sports bike feel now. It's more aggressive, it's more lean forward. So I don't know, it's very new to me. I haven't experienced such similar handling bike before at this point. So it's good, it's very nimble, it feels very solid. I think it's because of the chassis. It could be because of the chassis. That's why you know, when you flick it left and right, it is very solid. It may be the chassis, yeah. So that's the handling. It's different, but it's good. I don't want to say that V2 is bad. It's a good handling bike also, but this is also good. Honestly, I couldn't elaborate more because you need to try it yourself, and then you know it is very different, especially if you come from V2. Right. Third thing, okay, I'm not gonna count because I'm gonna lose count. So the next thing I want to talk about is the engine. This has a little bit of a cc bump, displacement bump. So this, I think, is a 373cc, and this is a 399 now, I believe. And the power delivery is also very different. So on this bike, the V2, the torque, it's you can feel the power at like 4,000 rpm, 4 to 5,000. When you hit it, when you reach 4 to 5,000 rpm, you really feel the rush. But this one, not really. You feel the rush, you feel the push, you feel the power at about 8,000, 7,000 rpm. It's late, but it's powerful at the higher rpm range. It sort of feels like a two-stroke, but no lah, not exactly two-stroke lah. But like it just reminds me of that. Yeah, it's a completely different bike. Even the name, this is LC4C. This one is nothing. This is basically the first generation engine, and then they bring it forward to the V2, which is this variant, and they keep improving it, and then they come out with this. This is a brand new LC4C engine. C stands for compact lah, just in case if you don't know. It's so different. It's just different. You need to test ride it, trust me. And power is super linear. goes and goes and goes and goes, and it's very high revving as well. Right, the next thing I want to talk about is the brakes. So for this version, you can see the brakes is on the right side, which is very nice looking when you look at it at the right side. V2 is on the left side. So I mean, there's no biggie, like it's self-preference, like if you like it right or left, nothing much. But when you start riding it and then you pull the brake lever, this brake, it bites really hard. It is so strong and so powerful. I wasn't even prepared for it. I'm like, whoop. Wow, this is a strong brake. I'm gonna be a little bit more careful. Like, look, I have this Brembo and it's comparable. It is comparable, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably, in my opinion, coming from V2, this brake is probably one of the biggest upgrades because the stock brake is good. It just takes more effort. The Brembo is great. This is also great. Crazy. Such a big improvement. I'm so happy that the V3 gets such a powerful brake. Okay, right now let's talk about the service. V2, you need to do valve clearance every 15,000 kilometers. The V3 every 20,000 kilometers, and it consumes less engine oil as well. I think it's 1.3 liter, I believe. I'm not too sure. You might need to check that up. This is, I think, 1.8 liter. So oil, it takes more oil because the engine is slightly bigger. Yes, the engine is slightly bigger too over here at V2. The V2 engine is actually physically bigger than this V3 engine. So damn. Let's get back to service. Okay, service at 10,000 kilometers, every 10,000 kilometers for the V3 and every 5,000 kilometers on the V2. You save some money, you save some time for service wise. And for the V2, I mean, I don't find any problems with it after riding it for 3 years. It was a daily bike for about 2.5 years. It was a daily bike, and until today it has no issue. So I don't think that the 390 V3 will have a reliability issue in the future also because engines keep improving, companies keep improving, right? So they learn from their past mistakes and all. So reliability, I can say I trust the V3 one. It could be better than the V2. I mean, I have this bike since day one. I didn't have any problems at all. Small problems from what I had was the master pump got leaking. So yeah, that's it. What else? I think KTM's reliability issue that people have been talking about, I think I'm gonna make another video about that. Right, let me show you when I sit on this bike. It looks big. It looks really big, especially the body. Just take a look at the body. It's quite big in the new version. It has the Super Duke R silhouette to it. Right, the seat. Let's talk about the seat. Look at how soft this is. This is like the power part seat. I think this is the power part seat, if I'm not wrong. Mine, the V2, is not a power part seat and it's really hard. So long rides is going to be an issue, but not a deal breaker lah. Let's sit on a V3. Seat height is shorter already, and this part is so skinny. So it's easier to reach the ground also, which is very friendly to beginner. Tank capacity has been bumped up. I think it's 15 point something liter. Okay, I don't want to talk about specs now because I don't have the specs with me, and I'm not a spec shit guy because I buy bikes based on what I like. To me, is design over performance, because honestly, I'm not a fast rider, and I don't think I can ever fully utilize the power that it gives me. Even this bike, this V2, my 390 Duke, I can't fully utilize it on the twisties. Come on. I'm not gonna buy the bike just solely based on performance. I appreciate the design also. This bike, honestly, the V3 it's not a bad looking bike, man. In photos, it just doesn't bring justice to it. You need to come over to the showroom and have a look at it yourself. Yeah, and just look at this shape. It is so long. It looks like a big bike. It really does look like a big bike. So last week I have rode this for 15 minutes. If I were to buy this bike lah, what are the things that I can change if this is my bike? First thing is handlebar. I would make it wider. For me, it's just more comfortable to hold it wider. It's easier to lean, easier to corner, easier for my body to move around a bit. But for this, it's just a bit too small. Yeah, I know I'm a small person, but it's just also too small. Maybe I'm not used to it, and maybe it's suitable for you. Who knows, right? I mean, this is just my preference lah. I would change the exhaust, I would change the air filter, and I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah, tail tidy. That's all. So 390 Duke, V2 versus V3. Should you get the V3? I would say if you are coming from a Duke 200 to a V3, yeah, why not? Since you're upgrading, why not upgrading to the latest model? And also, it's very different. See, you all need to come and do a test ride. I think it's available here in KTM Premium, Kuala Lumpur. Come over here, do a test ride, then you'll find out what's the difference already, or maybe you like it or not. Wait, there's something I want to add on also. The dash, the technology that it has for this bike. So for the V2, it's a barebone bike. In terms of technology, it only has ABS, front and back, and then supermoto mode. I think that's about it, right? Nothing much. It's very basic. But the V3, okay, honestly, I haven't tried it all lah. Okay, side stand. Yep. Oh, there's a lot of things going on. You have launch control. You have ABS. You have, I think this is traction control. MTC is motorcycle traction control, I think. You got this lap timer and this lap counter, I think. Let's explore a little bit. Lap timer. Okay. You have motorcycle. You got ABS. What's MTC? It's traction control. Then you got launch control. Come on. 400cc bike with launch control. Seriously. I mean, it's good to have. I would like to have it on mine also, so I can I can use it on traffic lights. Okay. Oh, you got ride mode, track, rain, street. Okay, I haven't tried any of this before. I mean, I didn't explore it lah previously. Bike info. You got everything you need to see. Okay. Oh, this is a cool graphic. Look at this. Although it is blurred at the back of the bike. Interesting. Trip settings. Yeah, I wonder if you have cruise control. Is this cruise control? It says 160 kilometers per hour. Oh no, it's a limiter. It's something like a pit limiter. Interesting. There's so many features on this bike. Yeah. So the verdict, would I upgrade from a V2 to a V3? My answer is, if I come from a Duke 200, I would. But right now, I'm having this 390 V2. I wouldn't, because I still love this bike very much. Personally, I don't find the need to upgrade to a V3 because I haven't even fully utilized it yet. But if you give me this bike, would I appreciate it? Yes, I would mod the shit out of it. It's up for you to decide. This is my 15 minutes of experience with this V3 390 Duke, and this is what I have seen and this is what I have noticed so far. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao. Don't forget to follow my Instagram. My handle will be in the description below. Bye bye.